Hi everyone, welcome to another video of problem solving using data structures and algorithms. Today we are looking at some stack-based interview questions. In fact, I'll focus on one problem in greater detail and give you one to practice yourself because that's important for any interview. Okay, so the problem that we're looking at is to create a stack that returns the minimum element in constant time. Okay, so we have created a stack before. If you remember, we did a proper Python implementation, and let's go there first before looking at this problem. And we know that it has like these functionalities or methods in there. So we can find out if the stack has something like some elements in it or not. We can push and pop and find the topmost element and also find the size of my stack. Okay, so the problem here is asking us to create or implement another stack such that I am able to return the minimum element of the stack in constant time. Right, so if you remember the design template that we have to think about the solution of this problem in terms of these 5 things. So in terms of the constraints, obviously it's already giving us in constraints and ideas is that it has to be an implementation of an object. So maybe I'll like jot down here that maybe I have to create a new object, right? That could be a constraint. And then obviously going back and asking questions like what all methods does this object require? So what all methods? Right, so maybe the interviewer comes back and tells me that it needs a push and a pop and finding the min element, right? Because that's the whole point of this implementation, right? At least these, and then we can have more, right? So I'm coming to the ideas, but we already know the answer to the complexity. It has to be order 1. Constant time means every time I find the minimum element, it has to be in constant time. And then we'll come back to the code and tests once we write the code. Okay, so this has to be a new object implementation, and because it is a stack and we have already implemented a stack, I can utilize that class or that object here, right? So that's like my point number 1. And maybe let's say I'll implement something called a min stack class, right? This could be a good way to begin. And obviously the most important point here is that we need this min method, which we don't have in our original class, right? So let's say, how about we maintain some stack in which we can push elements, right? So let's say I push element 5, right? And if that stack is empty, then I'm able to push this, which means I'll have element 5. And then if I do a push again of, let's say, 6, and one way to think about it is that 6 is greater than 5, so let me not allow that push, right? So this is the high level idea that I have about creating this. Then obviously it goes back to the phrasing of the question. It's asking, it is not giving us much, right? It just says create a stack that returns the minimum element in constant time. Could be multiple ways of doing this. The thing that comes to my mind is how about, like as I said, how about having a stack obviously already such that we do not allow the insertion of an element that's greater than the one that's already there, right? So this is the first thing, and the question that you should ask the interviewer is like, what all other functionality do we need? So let's say this is the answer that we get. The push operation should be allowed only if the element is less than the existing element, right? If the element that is pushed is less than or equal to the existing element, right? So this is one push functionality. What about pop? So pop again should be something that it should allow pop only if it's the current minimum element, otherwise it should not pop, maybe, right? So only if this, like the element that needs to be popped is equal to the current minimum, right? And finally, the most important method that we need, min operation, right? It should return the minimum element, obviously, right? Return min element. Now I have this basic idea that I'm maintaining a stack, right? That will have that will allow the insertion of only an element if it's minimum than the existing element, right? So how about we maintain a proper stack just like we've done before and create a temporary stack along with it. Okay, so this is my idea number one, right? What I mean is I'll maintain a main stack, which is nothing but just an instance of my stack class that I've implemented before, and a temporary stack. This temporary stack is going to keep track of the min element, right? And this is the result that I should get when I call my min method. Okay, so what are some of the operations that I can perform? Let's say I do a push 6. Main stack should have 6. Temporary should allow 6 because it's empty, right? And the minimum element would be the top element of this stack. Now by doing that, like when I'm doing a top from my temporary stack, I will by default get the minimum element, and this is going to be order 1, because if you remember, a push and a pop is order 1, which is why I'm creating this temp stack or temporary stack. Now let's look at some more examples before we actually start implementing the code. Let's say I'm doing a push 7, right? So main stack would just like behave as a normal stack, but here some kind of operation must exist that will check whether that 7 is less than or equal to this, right? So 7 is greater than 6. This temporary stack will not allow that push. And again, the min operation will return the top element of this temporary stack, which is 6 again. And this is an order 1 operation, right? Similarly, we can do a multiple push. Let's say I do a push 3, right? So this is going to be 6, 7, 3. But now 3 is less than 6, so this push will be allowed, right? And because this is the top of the stack, min is again returning the top of the stack all the time, right? And this will return 3. So the trick here is that like somehow maintain a stack that returns the top element, because the top element, the operation for the top element is always order 1, which is constant. So keeping this methodology, this technique in mind, we perform the implementation. So let's keep all the annotations, obviously, because based on this, we are going to implement this. So the way I have implemented this, and I've provided the code in the description box, is that I'm utilizing my array stack that we implemented earlier, right? So all I'm doing here, and this is my line 1. So I'm importing from stack class everything. So it's everything, just the array stack, right? And I'm creating a new object because that's what the problem is asking me to do. So create this new object called min stack. Now notice what I have in the constructor method or the init method. I'm creating my main stack as we decided and my temporary stack. This temporary stack is important because I have to output the min element in constant time. Okay, then we already discussed how the push, and the we did not discuss how the pop should work. So let's also write that down before actually going to the code. So for instance, if I'm doing a pop here, pop 3, this should maybe a pop 3 here, and it should pop only if these elements, like the top elements of both, match, right? So in this case, this will become 6 and this will become empty, right? Or let's say I have a push 1. So now this would be 6, 7, and 1. And this is going to be 6 and 1, right? And the min element is going to be 1. Now, if I do a pop 1, this will allow that, right? So because 1 and 1 are same, and so this will have only 6 and 1 gets removed and the minimum element should get updated. So this is how the pop method should work. Okay, so now we know the entire functionality and how the min is maintained in a constant time. So let's go back to our code and see how this is implemented. The push is pretty clear, right? In push, all I'm doing is simply calling the push method from my array stack class that I created earlier and using that. So this is for the main stack that I'm maintaining, right? For the temporary stack, I'll have to do an if and else because I have to check if the element that is being pushed is greater than the current element or not. If it is, then I don't allow the push, right? I allow only if it is less than the previous element, right? So I'm somehow in my temporary stack always maintaining the top element as the minimum element. That's the whole idea behind it. So that's why I have this if and else. And notice I'm simply using my dot top and dot push from my stack class. Okay. Now pop, as we said, is going to return a -1 if my current stack is empty. And this empty is nothing but something that I implemented here, right? And it's similar to the isEmpty method here, right? So all I'm doing is calling my isEmpty from my earlier stack class or array class that I created earlier, array stack that I created earlier, and returning that. Right, so these are some of the additional methods that I've simply implemented because these are an inherent part of stack functionality, but you might need or not need them, right? So if you need them, good. If you don't, that's fine. So this was push and pop. So I'll pop only if I see that the top element for both the stacks are the same, because only if it's minimum then I'm going to pop, right? So that's that. And finally, the min method that we were asked to implement. Okay, here. If my temporary stack is empty, I'm going to return a -1 because it doesn't make sense, right? There is nothing in it. Otherwise, keep returning the top element. And maybe I should write this down here, that this is constant time. And this is what was asked, right? So this is in constant time. Okay, let's test this stack with a certain series of push and let me not run the entire thing, rather just like run them step by step so that we understand how this is happening. So this is the testing part finally, right? Let's create this min stack class. So it's created, right? Let me create an instance of my min stack class, push 6. Now remember, the .min method is working on that temporary stack, right? So we are getting everything in constant time because it's returning the topmost element. So here it returns the 6, right? Here, let me see 7. Now notice 7 is greater than 6. So my push method should not be allowed on my temporary stack. So that's true because look at the minimum, it's still 6. Again, I'm pushing 8 and the minimum stays 6, which is good. Now this is a test whether the minimum would be updated or not. And yes, it's updated. So that means my temporary stack has 2 elements now. It has allowed a push. Okay, so let me do another push here and check if the min is updated. Yes, so it has allowed 3 push, right? Now let's see if the pop happens or not, right? So if I do an s.pop, that means 3 and 3 both should be removed from both of the stacks. Now the minimum should be 5. Right? Because this is the functionality that we wanted. Maybe if you want some other functionality, the way this .pop should work, please go ahead and try that, right? And how about if I'm doing a push of 10, it should still maintain that 5, obviously, right? And then so on. So these are some of the tests, and I've provided the code in the description below. Going back to our lecture notes, so that was about the first problem. The second problem, which is again a very common problem on most interviews, is this balanced parentheses problem, which means that you're given a string type, right? And you're asked to check whether the number of closing parentheses matches the number the number of opening parentheses matches the number of closed parentheses. Obviously, there are multiple ways of doing it. You can do a dot count with a string object type, but one of the best solutions to this problem is by using a stack. So what you can do is like keep pushing in the opening ones, the opening parentheses into a stack, right? And then when you find like these closing ones, right, you can keep popping them. So if the final stack that you have is empty, that means your string has balanced parentheses, otherwise it does not have, right? So I'm not showing this implementation. I'm leaving it to you to go and practice this because this is something that's really common and this gives you good practice of your stack class. One hint here is that please utilize the stack class that you implemented here. I know Python provides the collections module in which you have, I think, the deck class that can be used for stacks, queues, and decks. So that's another option, but utilize your own stack class because that will give you a better idea of how to solve this problem, just like we did with the min element problem. Okay, so that's it from my end. If you have questions, please ask in the comment. Thank you.